So hello. Um, I think I can just begin my speech. So my name is Jangwon Lee, and I'm the founder and CEO of Beyond Music, and its sister company called Content Technologies. Beyond Music is, as you can see from the page, the largest music IP. By IP, we mean music copyrights, music rights, different forms of rights, but music rights investment firm in Korea. Um, as you can see from the description, we're not directly a Web3 company. We're much more, in some ways, a finance company and a fundamentally content or music or entertainment driven company with a fundamental core um, of aggregating valuable and cash flow generating and unique music rights. We've been able to aggregate around $290 million of assets under management in the past year and a half, with which we've been able to acquire around 25,000 music rights, mostly in Korea. Some we're acquiring from the US, some from Japan. And out of these 25,000 songs, are some of the most historically important songs in Korean music and K-pop history. The likes that could be compared to um, uh, the U.S. or Western counterparts of Queen or Bon Jovi. So we now have aggregated songs that are as important in historic value to such songs, but in Korean context. And our business model generally is we build a capital structure and we build a fund like structure with which we gather from different financial investors a pool of money um, through which we invest into different music rights. And these music rights, these are not fundamentally new. These have been generating predictive, repetitive cash flow for a very long time, and will do so for a very long time as well. These music rights tend to live for additional 70 to 100 years, protected by the copyright laws. And during those years will continue to generate repetitive cash flow, and that cash flow for us is gives us the ability to generate revenues and return some of that to our financial investors, and have some of that as our profits as well, as the managers of this fund entity. We've began from a $25 million fund last year, Q1. Now we are at a $290 million stage, and we'll continue to grow, hopefully, to become not only Korean but the largest music rights fund throughout Asia. Um, and um, and we have a direct benchmark uh, in the global market called Hypnosis Songs Fund, which is noted to be listed in the London Stock Exchange, and with an asset under management of over $3 billion. And they have essentially been our direct benchmark in that they've been doing this for the past 3 4 years. They have been able to acquire copyrights and music rights from top composers and producers around the world, from which they have been able to generate very good cash flows, with which they paid out dividends to the shareholders of their listed entity. Very similar to that, we don't necessarily have a public entity as of now, but we pull the money, we use the money to buy the music rights, have the music rights, manage the music rights to be to not only sustain its value but hopefully rise in their value through different value creation mechanisms. And with that value captured, we share it with different interested parties. So, like I said, the essence of what we do is acquire these valuable music rights at a justifiable valuation, and B, value create and value up our existing acquired assets. So the latter part is where Web3 and NFTs and different technical approaches come in. So what we do is we not only take very traditional approaches of value creating our music rights, which include making remakes, collaborating with new artists to build kind of a new compilation, or syncing or sailing our music to movies, to dramas, to TV shows. That's very classic ways of utilizing and value maximizing the music rights. But we not only do that, but we also try to engage in more creative and tech savvy ways and new ways, experimental ways to utilize our music rights. Among which one of the main pillars is definitely Web3. So in order to do that, we've not only allowed access to license our music, but we've been even more directly involved in the scene by investing into different projects and companies that are trying to utilize music and bridge music with this with the new technology. Um, we have invested in some of the top projects, top companies in Korea who are in the Web3 music space. One of which is Ulala. We've invested in this project or this team alongside Samsung Next. We've led its last round, and essentially what they're doing is they're building a curated platform for Web3 music, and they're basically gathering these music NFTs from different chains, from different platforms, and then aggregating on this single screen, where it has a much better experience that of compared to that of OpenSea or other existing platforms that are much more customized or tailored to PFPs or image-based content rather than music. So Ulala is a top team in Korea, founded by crypto OGs who are from Nexon, from Dunamu, who are from DSRV, Huobi, and they've been able to build out a globally notable music platform, and we're very proud to be part of their supporting group. And obviously, in terms of supporting them not only financially, but in trying to bridge them with the right kind of entertainment / music network in Korea, or directly supporting them with our music production or music rights resources is another way to value add to these teams. Another team in Korea is 3PM. They've been actively doing different experiments throughout the music Web3 scene, in terms of airdropping or selling music NFTs with top artists. But also they've been in the ticketing space, and they've worked with different festivals, different concerts to build out unique K-pop festivals throughout NFT tickets. Aside from these efforts, we've also been involved in building the global first K-pop ETF, which will be listed in New York Stock Exchange in a month's time. It's essentially grayscale Bitcoin, but for K-pop. So literally, our ticker itself is K-pop, KPOP. We've been able to get a hold of that. And utilizing this K-pop ETF, we hope global investors, global fans who haven't been able to gain access or exposure into K-pop stocks will be able to do so through this floating public entity. So all around, what Beyond Music and Contents Technologies do is we take a very financially creative approach to content, to music, to entertainment. Our brainchilds are Beyond Music, K-pop ETF. We also have a number of other subsidiaries, but the main ones are these two. And as for more Web3 or technical approaches, we rather prefer investing into these top projects and supporting them to become top of their respective verticals, rather than trying to build all the platforms ourselves. And after investing, supporting them strategically and with the right resources, network, and so forth. We've also been actively deploying capital as LPs to different funds, both in Korea and globally. Not much so for DeFi, but much more so for funds or teams that are trying to build something related to music or content, and then funds that are more relevant to these NFTs or content-based plays in the Web3 space. That's where our forte is. Thank you.